Harry Maguire has joined the long list of Manchester United's injured players ahead of our trip to Bayern Munich. The game will be taking place tomorrow, but guess what? Another injury upset. Now, many of you won't be so sad about the absence of Maguire from this game, but really, considering the lack of depth in our squad, considering the so many players we are missing, certainly we would have used the legs of Harry Maguire. They could have come in handy here or there, but he is out of the game because of an injury. He did not travel with the team. Here is the confirmed traveling squad for the trip to Bayern. Goalkeepers: Altel Bayindil, Tom Heaton, Andre Onana, and Redek Vitek. We don't even need to go into a debate of who will start that one. Midfielders: Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Facundo Pellistri, Scott McTominay, Dan Gore, and Hannibal. Those are the midfielders we have. Forwards: Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Hojlund, Alejandro Garnacho, and Omari Fosso. Now, the pre-match talk has been interesting because, as it seems, Bayern Munich, the coach, the players have some level of sympathy towards Manchester United. They feel the situation we are in, remember, we are in our worst start to a Premier League season ever since the advent of the English Premier League. We've lost 3 games in 5. It has never been worse than that ever since the advent of the English Premier League. But as we travel to Bayern, perhaps the 2 losses we've had could be the motivation that these players will need to try and forge a result against Bayern Munich, the 6-time champions of Europe. United have won it 3 times, but the history will not matter in this one. What will matter is how good we will be, how Erik ten Hag will approach this game. It's going to be a battle of tactics because we know for a fact that Thomas Tuchel is one of the most tactically astute managers we've got in world football. That is why he was able to find ways of getting a Champions League trophy out of the legs of a largely mediocre Chelsea. So he is that kind of coach that has got a lot of tactics in his head. Now, question is, how on earth is Erik ten Hag going to deal with them? These are the players we have, and I'm trying to look at who should be starting. Of course, in goal, Andre Onana. The back line: Victor Lindelof, Lisandro Martinez in the central defense, Sergio Reguilon on the left, Diogo Dalot on the right. Johnny Evans obviously will come in from the bench, I do believe. In the midfield, Bruno Fernandes certainly will be starting as a number 10 probably. Christian Eriksen in there alongside Casemiro. I would put Facundo Pellistri on the right wing to give us something different because his pace will come in handy in terms of trying to keep the Bayern backline there, keeping them busy so that they don't move to try and support their attack. So my thinking is get the speed and feet of Facundo Pellistri. If you've got Marcus Rashford flying in from the left and Rasmus Hojlund is on the top, I think there we can try to match, because you don't match pace because Bayern has got some decent pace in there. Leroy Sané is a fast player. Serge Gnabry is a fast player. Of course, Muller is not as fast as he was, but he will be playing as a number 10, highly technical, playing behind Harry Kane, who is another unpredictable player. So you don't match pace with slowness. You think you match pace with pace. So my thinking is, Pellistri has got some bit of pace. Is this a time for him to start? I don't think we need to play cautious because we saw Scott McTominay in there playing alongside Casemiro in the last game, but it did not work with Brighton. We are leaking goals. So my thinking is go at them, try to get as many players who can give us a lot going forward, to try and run at them, keep running at them, and hope that we will get them to make mistakes, commit them back, force them into mistakes that can give us goals. So for me, that's my only thinking, is we've got to have the confidence. We are Manchester United, whereas the Allianz Arena is a place where we don't really go and enjoy ourselves. I think being Manchester United, we should be able to have the confidence to go all out and try to get a victory in this game. Because what is there to lose? What is there to lose? We are doomed if we are defensive. We will be doomed if we are not. So I think we need to go all out and attack Bayern Munich with confidence, force them to make mistakes, because the pre-match talk has made it clear that they know clearly, and even the bookmakers have made it clear that Manchester United are obvious underdogs in this game. Now, that's not a good place to be if you're Manchester United, but also it is, on the other side, it is it reduces the pressure. The pressure should be on Bayern, because if we beat them at the Allianz Arena, that will be their first loss at home in the Champions League in 34 outings. So if we beat them there, obviously Thomas Tuchel will have a lot of answers to give to the hierarchy at the club. So my thinking is let's get the pressure off us and have the confidence. The thing though is that Eric Ten Hag is under a lot of pressure. One, because of his man management. People are questioning his man management. I personally think this is what United has needed for a long time. We've had managers who are selling ice cream. We need a manager with character. Eric Ten Hag is giving us that. That is what made Sir Alex Ferguson a fierce manager, that every player who played for Manchester United respected him and the club because they knew the man at the helm is a no-nonsense man. He's a ruthless man. You need such a character to manage a club like Manchester United. It was the same thing with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. When he came in there, he had to stamp his ground. And of course, he rubbed many people the wrong way because of how he dealt with Mesut Ozil, how he dealt with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. My thinking is Manchester United needed that kind of manager. So for me, there are no qualms about Eric Ten Hag and his man management. He has got to manage these players, and I'm told we do understand that Barcelona are watching and monitoring the situation with Jadon Sancho. I think really for me, if he's not able to to work in under the terms of the new boss who has set new standards, I think Sancho can leave. To be honest, we can do without him. I think we have lost more important players at a more crucial time than than him going now. So for me, my honest opinion is that Eric Ten Hag has handled the mess at United. He's trying to clean this largely dirty house of ours. Now, two is Ten Hag has been, of course, criticized for his tactics. Of course, the obvious one was this substitution of Rasmus Højlund, only to come out after the game. He substituted him against Brighton in the 64th minute because he said he was not ready to start a full 90 minutes. Well, it wasn't convincing, really, but it happened, and of course that is one of the issues that people had with him and his tactics. My thinking is, for me, Eric Ten Hag's tactics cannot be questioned now. I think the issue with United is not about Ten Hag's tactics. I think it's a whole lot of issues away from the pitch, that is one, but also the players themselves not taking responsibility and ownership. And against a club like Bayern, this is a club with a lot of pedigree in Europe, on the continent. We have got to have our players tick all boxes. We can't afford to have Marcus Rashford selfish. We can't afford to have players beaten and caught out of position the way we saw Lisandro Martinez, the goal we conceded, Casemiro. I think we've got to have some bit of more order. The third bit is the injury situation at United is worrying. Amrabat is not there. He's training, but alone. Good news is Kobe Maino is back training as well, but training with Amrabat on the side. Rafael Varane and Mason Mount are also back, but they're not fit enough for this trip. So meaning we could be having them for our next Premier League game. We have a lot of injuries, and of course I've told you Harry Maguire has joined the list of injured players. So there is a lot of injuries, and of course you can criticize the club and the manager for all these injuries. How does a club, a professional club like Manchester United, have all these many injured players at a go? It questions a lot about the way we handle players, the rotation, the depth in the squad. Perhaps certain players are fatigued, they have played too much football because they've not have able deputies. So it's a difficult place to be, but these are the challenges you face in football, more so if you're a top club like Manchester United and you're back competing in all major competitions in Europe. So this is a test for Eric Ten Hag, but I believe it is one he can manage. The bigger issue is when these players are out like now, with the squad we saw that we have, how on earth are we going to manage and get results? That's the multi-million-dollar question. But my prediction, you can give me your prediction of this game. My prediction is, I think, and I hate to predict a loss, as a patriot, as a person who loves my Manchester United, I won't go against them. I'll go for a draw or a shocking victory for United. And like I said, history has it clear that the underdogs, football is such a mischievous game that even the underdogs have a chance to upset the odds. So I'm thinking this is going to be one of another story of an upset, and this is the game that could turn the tide for Manchester United, in my view. If we get a result against Bayern, whether a draw or a victory, my thinking is the tide is going to turn for United, and trust you me, it will be reflected back in the English Premier League. Go into the comment section and give me your prediction of this game. Do you think Manchester United has what it takes with the squad we've taken to Bayern? Do we have what it takes to win this game? Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. I will be back with more.